What's up, YouTube? Capital G here, DN Duel commentary. We got Stardust 1064 versus Gunsick 1845. Gunsick is currently the highest rated player on all of Dueling Network. To my shock, he plays Mass Heroes of all things. I know the 2 and 3 player, I was recording those two play, and they were both playing Pepe Magician, so I just assumed that he was too. But you know, sure enough, the dude's playing Heroes. And again, once you get up here, you're pretty much playing a lot of just meta, or well, he's playing against Psy-Frames right now, so I guess it ain't all meta. Now, I believe Beta was summoned at some point. He's lost a couple of Shadow Mist, and he's at 4,000 because he played a Hero Lips. So you're kind of up to speed. He's got Overload on board, and he attempts to summon D. Is that going to resolve? I would assume if this is game 1, Gunsick probably has a lot of cards that aren't super useful against Stardust. I think he might be trying to go for Dark Law here. Because the fact that Stardust has a monster on field means that he can't respond with any of his dudes, because they don't summon themselves if you have a monster on board, which is why usually with D, you tribute it and you get it off so that your guys can go through. But I guess if somebody responds to it with a summon or something like that, it's not a lot you can do about it. So looks like he's going to get his Shadow Mist. Can't necessarily use that match change because it's in his hand. It's not his turn. Okay, I thought maybe he wanted to go into Dark Law. Whoa, we see the Regeki used. Okay, he used Dark Hole earlier, by the way, too. Man, this guy has a lot of back row removal. So it's got the Regeki, some Dark Holes up in here. And Dark Holes don't obviously hurt Psy-Frames because you can just banish your monsters. Well, the boss ones, like, what's it called? Omega, you can just banish them whenever you want. Zeta, under certain conditions. I mean, I guess they both have conditions. If your opponent doesn't have a hand, you can't use Omega's effect, but usually they have a hand. Alright, so Shadow Mist goes bye-bye. And I'd like to see this build of heroes because I'm still looking for a regional deck, man. Oh man, another Call of the Haunted for Shadow Mist. If Shadow Mist was not once per turn, oh my god. Heroes would have been like tier 1 and never, they would have, I think they could actually be tier 1. They'd be like tier 0.5. If Shadow Mist wasn't once per turn. And then, obviously, got throwing that obligatory bring Stratos back. So he plays Call the Haunted, and I think he's trying to obviously summon Dark Law this turn so that when D goes to draw a card, it will obviously be, Gunsick will be able to use Dark Law's effect. Fortunately, that does not happen. And this card is a problem. I don't know if Gunsick plays backer removal. I don't know how many decks are going to convert to Twin Twister. I don't know if heroes can really incorporate Twin Twister. They don't have a lot of discard fodder. You know, like almost all the pluses in the deck are made through Shadow Mist and like pretty much Shadow Mist. So I don't necessarily know if they want to go that route. I think Mystical Space Typhoon might be a little better. Although, you got to think of it like this. I mean, if you've got Dark Law out and your opponent plays Pendulum Scales, like a Twin Twister, that shit can end the game. You just crack both scales and banish them both. And, like, just the good thing is if they somehow get more scales, it doesn't matter because the stuff is not coming back. I believe he activates Psychic Field Zone. I'm going to say Psy-Frames probably have an advantage going first. Or, excuse me, just in this matchup, game one. What's it called? Looks like Silent Warning was played on that. And looks like he's going to play Mystic Piper. How many ones are in this deck anyways? He draws. Yeah, I'm wondering how many ones are in this. Where maybe Effect Veil or something like that. You have to reveal the card that you drew. And then if it's a 1, I think you draw one more time. It's a 2, okay, reveal one card. If it was a level 1, yeah, exactly. If it's a level 1, you draw another card, but you reveal what you draw regardless. And Mystic Piper does eat up your normal summon. I mean, it works if you're running, like, a lot of times if you're running 3 Veilers, it works. Okay, passive play by Gunsick. And I guess it gives you another monster to summon, because it's not a lot of stuff. Or if you're running Swift Scarecrow, yeah, this deck could run Swift Scarecrow. Activate Psychic Path to get some of his resources back to his hand. And I think heroes might be reckoning for an upset here. I still don't think heroes are necessarily a budget deck. Like, it's weird because if you just look at the majority of the stuff that they run, you'd be like, oh, it's a budget deck. Heroes are cheap, and you know, Dark Law and all the little other heroes are cheap. And then you realize, like, even if you get a low rarity acid, which isn't, I think it's like $5, but I am like 99% certain that this deck is going to be using 3 Solemn Strikes, because Dark Law plus Solemn Strike is so good. It's your Exceed stopper and a Pendulum stopper. Furthermore, I think that that card's running about $80 right now, so that's $240. And then I know for a fact the deck will run Ptolemaeus and Infinity, because I think Infinity plus Dark Law will be amazing. So that'll be just 2 cards that are really, really expensive. I wonder about the deck's ability to go second, though. You know, seems kind of like it might be a little difficult. All right, activates another Psychic Field Zone, brings out the Omega. And here's where the grind game goes, because I don't think heroes play any Battle Traps. Again, I just don't foresee Battle Traps being a big thing in Yu-Gi-Oh! Until Shining Victories. When Shining Victories comes out, I personally believe Battle Traps will just come back. I think it'll be all because of Rippling Mirror Force. And speaking of that, it'll go in this deck immediately. It'll go in Psy-Frames. Activates Omega's effect to banish Goblinberg. Okay, Corky. And you see, just racking up that card advantage. I just want to know how Psy-Frames do against like a Pendulum deck, because I feel like they do okay against non-Pendulum decks. Mainly because Zeta is probably really good against non-Pendulum decks. But when your opponent wants to, like, you know, throw 5 monsters down at one time, I think it could be a little difficult. Now, I think obviously some of them run Anti-Spell Fragrance, but, you know, the Twin Twisters are coming down. All right, so Gunsick activates his, well, he tried to use Instant Fusion. Delta was like, nah, I can't let you do that, Star Fox. Then he goes for a Hero Lives. Looks like he's going to attack over to Delta. It's in defense mode. He better have Acid, though. Acid would be really good here. I don't think he's used Overload, though. Like, Overload is so good in this deck. Like, it's dumb good. It takes hands that are not even like that great. It just takes average hands and makes them so good, because you can take cards that you don't even want, like mediocre hands or mediocre cards, and you can just give them away. Ooh, the double mass change. Ooh, the double overload. The triple mass change. Oh, baby. Ah! No. Oh, baby, a triple on both sides. Holy jeez. I've never seen anything like that in the years that I have done DN Duel commentary. Look at the chat go nuts. Oh, my. That may have to be the greatest ending ever, gentlemen. Thank you guys for watching as always.